What's going on, everybody? Adam Maness here. Welcome to Pentatonics and Playing Out. I'm so excited to do this course. This is one of our most requested courses. We have a jazz piano technique course that deals with the technique of playing pentatonics, but with this, we're going to deal with exclusively how to use pentatonics in our actual improvisation. We're going to go over a few tunes as we do this. A blues, take the Coltrane in F. Solar, famous jazz standard by Miles Davis. So What, another Miles Davis tune, but a modal tune, which is very important how to understand the difference between playing pentatonics over functional harmony and modal harmony. And then we're going to do one bebop tune at the end, Groovin' High, because we did it on a bebop enclosures course just prior to this course, and I want to explain sort of the difference between approaching a tune with bebop and with pentatonics and how you can mix those two things together a little bit. So let me break down how this course is going to go, because it's going to be very simple. This is a guided practice session-based course, meaning that we're mostly practicing. We're going to have some exercises, and then we're going to do some play-alongs where I play the Bosendorfer here with my friend Mr. Click Track over there, and you kind of experiment doing things that I ask you to do, little mental games that we can make to make our playing kind of click in a very natural, very organic way to improvisation. So we're going to be focusing mostly on pentatonics, but we're also going to be dealing with another concept, triad plus one, which is very related to pentatonics. It's where we take just a regular triad and we add one note to it. So we'll talk all about that. So that's the other thing. So how's this going to flow? We're going to do just a couple lessons up front. We'll do a lesson on pentatonics, and then we'll do a lesson on triad plus one, and then we'll get right into it with the blues, and we'll start practicing with our guided practice sessions. So we'll have 4 sessions for each tune, and each one will be kind of a progression. We're going to throw in some technical work in the middle there so we can have like a day of technique building. And then we're going to start experimenting with taking it outside the changes, how we can develop different concepts for playing outside of the changes. It works so well with pentatonics that it's the perfect opportunity to kind of deal with superimposing different chord changes over the form so that we get that sound of right, that sound where you kind of take it out of the harmony and then land it back in real solid like. So that's what this course is going to be. We are going to get to work, get ready to practice, and let's really dig into one of my favorite sounds in this music, pentatonics, triad plus one, taking it out. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm very excited to get going. So let's hit it with our first lesson all about pentatonics. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. That is Duke Ellington's very simple but very groovy blues, Take the Coltrane, written for his album with John Coltrane. It's a fantastic album. Oh, by the way, we have a Spotify playlist with a bunch of pentatonic sounding tunes where we pull these sounds from. So we'll have that linked in the resources. Go check that out. You must listen as much as possible to these sounds to really absorb them, to really internalize them, and then be able to have them come out naturally in your playing. There's no getting around that. You have to listen. So go listen to Duke's and Coltrane's version of Take the Coltrane. I think you're going to love it. It's just such a great tune. So swinging. And so that's where we're going to start our journey, with this very simple F blues, right? We all know what the form of a blues is, yes? Right? We have F7, a dominant 7, for 4 bars. Maybe you put it in bar 2, a little B flat 7 and back to F7, right? We know that. Then B flat 7 for 2, and then F7 for 2 again. Then bar 8 is, we'll do G7, right? Clash here, but let's do G7, G dominant 7, to C7, and then back to F7, right? Just a very basic 12 bar blues, right? 4 bars of the 1, 2 bars of the 4, back to the 1, and then a turnaround 2, 5, 1. Maybe that's C7. Let's do like a C7 altered or C7 flat 13, sharp 9. Right? That's all we need to know. So very simple formula for that. The head to this, the melody, could not be easier. It's really, literally just 2 shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's the entire melody. So it's like an F minor 7 shape, F, A flat, C, E flat, to a C minor 7 shape, to this little thing around A. And it just does it 3 times. Here's our G7. So let's practice that. You play the melody. Again, I'll play it with you the first time, but you practice just getting this melody. Very simple. Let's try it. We'll slow it down a little bit. Nice and easy. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Play with me. Again. You got it, by yourself. One more time. Here we go. Hold it out there at the end. Beautiful. Okay, so I love playing this blues just because it's such a blank form, right? It can be whatever we want it to be, but it very clearly spells out a couple of ideas. I mean, it couldn't be more clear than that what they are. Like an F minor 7 and a C minor 7, which is where we're going to start. So we want to know, how do you've probably improvised over a blues before or tried to and spent some time working that out, but how do we get that? And how do we sound like Coltrane? How do we get that sound? Okay, it's all pentatonic and all triad +1. Let's deal with the pentatonic first. So we're on an F7, so you might think, oh, we'll use F minor pentatonic. Not yet. Hold your horses. So before we do that minor sound of an F minor pentatonic, the pentatonic that you hear most often used over a blues like this, over an F7, over a dominant chord, is the minor pentatonic from a fifth above our dominant chord. So if our dominant chord is F7, which it is, we would use a C minor pentatonic as sort of where we start with this, right? So C, E flat, F, G, B flat, C. Right? Let's get familiar with our C minor pentatonic. Remember, this is just E flat major, right? It's the relative minor of that. So let's practice Yeah, let's do quarter notes. In our groups of 4, again, if you're a pianist, you can play all these together. If you're a horn player, a vocalist, or a bass player, you can break them up. Let's go up and down the octaves, getting to know that group of 4. If you want to put an F7 chord, even just a root and 7th, in your left hand to get the sound, or even just an F, that helps to solidify how this sounds. Play it with me. 2, 3, and 4. Right? So that's our first pentatonic. So with that logic, right, using the minor pentatonic from a 5th up above our dominant chord, F7, so we use C minor. When we get to B flat 7, what should we use? What's the 5th up from B flat 7? That's right, F minor. So we don't use the F minor pentatonic over the F7, not yet anyway. But we do use it over the B flat, right? We want to keep to this formula so that we can really do some restricted practice. So again, the minor pentatonic in F is the same as A flat major. That's the relative minor and major. F, A flat, B flat, C, E flat, F. Let's practice getting those shapes. 2, 3, 4. And again, you might put a little B flat 7 chord in your left hand. Play with me here. Get the shapes. This getting of these 4-note blocks is one of the most important things we can do. I'm going thumb on black keys for my pianist here, because with some of these we just have to, and so you have to get used to that. Awesome. So we have on the F7, C minor pentatonic, on the B flat 7, F minor pentatonic. There's only 2 chords left, right? Because that gets us through the first 8 bars. For the G7, right, the 2 chord in bar 9, we're going to do a minor 6th pentatonic from a 5th up. So we're not going to do, right, this isn't just another option. We have all these options on every chord. There are several different pentatonic scales we could superimpose on any of these chords. So I'm just giving you some ideas here about what we can use. Let's use the D minor 6th pentatonic. It's not the D minor pentatonic, it's the minor 6th, right? So we have, it's just like a D major pentatonic, but with a flat 3rd. So we have D, E, F, A, B, D. Great shapes here. Let's practice these shapes on the D minor pentatonic over a G7. 2, 3, 4. So crunchy. Woo! Love this. So that's what we play over the G7, D minor 6th pentatonic. These are just our note options over each one of these chords. Now, our C7 altered. We can hit up a lot of these altered notes by using one very cool pentatonic scale. The major pentatonic from a tritone away. What the heck does that mean? Okay, so a tritone is a flat 5 away. We can use our G flat major pentatonic over C7 altered. It's really, really dissonant. It's really out. It has all of the altered extensions, right? Sharp 11, flat 13, 7, flat 9, sharp 9. right? All of those great out extensions, coupled with that D. And then going back down to the F, it just works so, so well. Let's try that. C7 using G flat major pentatonic. All the black keys, that's all this is. G flat major pentatonic is all the black keys on the piano. G flat, A flat, B flat, D flat, E flat. It's gonna sound out, but good. Let's try it. In our 4-note chunks, right? Starting on G flat, A flat, B flat, D flat, moving up all the black keys on the piano. That C7, let's try it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, thumb, for our pianist, thumb can be on the black keys. You might dig your hand a little bit deeper into the key bed. Super, super out, but in a great way. That's part of this sound, right? It's part of the sound. Okay, that was a lot to learn, right? That's 4 different chords, 4 different pentatonic scales, but notice that each one is a 5th above our root. In the C, it's a flat 5, but it's still a 5 above. For the first 2 dominant chords, right? The B flat, or the F7, excuse me, and the B flat 7, it's the minor pentatonic above a 5th. For that G7, we're going to try a different one, the minor 6 pentatonic, D minor 6 pentatonic. For the C7, it's that flat 5 above major, the major pentatonic flat 5 above G flat, right? Because it's a C7 altered. So that'll be kind of the rule. Like the altered can be a little bit crunchier with like a little bit more dissonance, right? These are our first set of things that I want you to think about. Notice that the 2 and the 5, even though they're all dominant chords, that 2, 5, they have different rules than the 1 and the 4. And we'll follow some of those rules as this course goes on. We'll use that minor 6 pentatonic over a 2, especially if the 2 is a dominant chord. And for any altered chords, we'll use that major pentatonic from a tritone away or a flat 5 away. Okay, let's play. Let's play with this. I want you to start very restricted. We're going to just play a blues. We're going to play this blues. I want you to take the head, right? Remember the head. Play the head twice. We're going to do 2 choruses where I want you to practice playing the head. Pianists, if you want to add very simple shell voicings, just 7th and 3rd, those work great for all of these. So we're just going to do the head twice, and then I want you to start soloing. Don't be afraid. Solo with these 4-note blocks. All right, so C minor pentatonic. Just get used to, if you're a horn player, just breaking them up any way you want. But just get used to thinking about these in these 4-note blocks. So again, C minor pentatonic over the F7, F minor pentatonic over the B flat 7, C minor pentatonic over the F7, and then D minor 6 over the G7, and then G flat major over the C7 altered. I'm going to play the bass for you, and probably some chords too, just to help keep it on. You have fun. 2 times through the head, and then just practice in these blocks. Right, if you're a pianist, just keep the blocks together. See what you can do with it. We're just getting used to it. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Through the head again. A little harmony there for you. Now use those blocks, 4-note blocks. Follow the form. 4 chord. Back to the 1. Here's our 2-5, G7, C7 altered. Do it again. Hey. Stay disciplined. Stay with those 4-note blocks. Don't break them up yet. D minor 6, to G flat major. One more time, you got it. Okay, I'm not even going to stop the click because now what I want you to do is do those same blocks. We're not going to do the head. Start right in on some improvising. Do the same blocks, right? C minor, pentatonic over F, F minor over B flat, D minor 6th over G7, G flat major, all the black keys over C7 altered. And I want you to break it up. But break it up just going one particular way. Up. Practice improvising going up in 4-note blocks. Changing the pentatonic scale with the chord. Try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. 4 chord. 1, G7, try it again, just all going up, stay disciplined. Okay, same thing, all going down. Keep those 4-note blocks going down. Practice improvising. How much can you keep it together? Can you break it up in a cool way? See what you can do. But really, getting these shapes just down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Just down. This is restrictive practice. Okay, let's do it again. Up and down. Whatever you want. Mix it up, up and down. Again, just up and down. But that's it. Take the Coltrane GPS number 1 in the books. What a great practice session. Thank you for joining me. Isn't that so much fun? That restrictiveness, right? That blocking things out like that in groups of 4 and practicing the different shapes, that is how you get to the promised land of really being able to play. And that's just so much fun to do. So I encourage you to explore this, right? Part of this is we want to practice together. I'm going to give you some really, I think, solid ideas for how to poke and prod, but you need to poke and prod at this yourself too, right? I can't know where you are in your journey, where the gap is in your knowledge between having this completely and not knowing it at all. So you need to explore, consider just taking it to just beyond your comfort zone at all turns. We'll be back tomorrow for some triad plus 1 work over this very same tune. Until then, happy practicing.